Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel and the ongoing subscriptions and the comments and ongoing support. Truly appreciate it. Today I'm going to do a short video presentation, and it's entitled, Do you need more than one guitar? Because that was a question somebody posed to me just starting out, because this video was kind of geared towards the beginner guitar player as far as things that they need to know. So I'm going to try to do a series of these videos from time to time to kind of help out the beginning guitar player, because you don't know what you don't know. And you don't want to spend, countless amount of money if you don't have to. And the question was posed to me was, is it really necessary to have more than one guitar? And it really depends. If you're just kind of an avid guitar player, perhaps maybe not. But if you are a seasoned player, session player, a tour musician like I am, so you do tend to need more than one guitar. And I'm going to kind of briefly go through some of my guitars, because I'm not going to go through all of them. But I'm going to give you reasons why I have this guitar in my setup. And the first one is this one. It's a J Tercer custom Telly. There was some custom work done on the pickups, the pick guard, the inlay, graphics on the neck. It's a beautiful guitar, and that's the first thing that really jumps out at people when they see it. Wow, this is a really nice looking guitar. And actually it is. And actually it sounds pretty good. When I first got this guitar, I initially thought it's going to have a kind of a bright telly sound, but I was kind of pleasantly surprised that it didn't. It actually was just the opposite. It had a very deep baritone tone, to the point where when I got this guitar, like on a Monday, I sold my jazz guitar on a Wednesday because my jazz guitar wasn't delivering. I kind of got suckered in like a lot of people as far as you need a certain type of guitar to play a certain style of music. And to the extent that's true, and then in some cases it's not. You don't need a really big old guitar that you can barely put your arms around and get, in holes in there as far as, sound to play quote unquote jazz. That's just a myth. My jazz guitar, which was a brand name jazz guitar, I paid a great deal of money for it, and it didn't deliver. When I got this guitar, I said I can play jazz on this, so goodbye other guitar. So I got rid of it. Then I got this guitar. Now what I like about this guitar again is it has a nice baritone tone, and I've learned something over the years. When it's not broke, try not to fix it, because sometimes I have a tendency that I want to put light gauge strings on all my guitars for them to sound the same, which is kind of pointless. So when I got this guitar, it came with coated black strings. And I've had this guitar for at least a year and a half now. And I decided from the other mistakes I made is to just leave it alone, because I like the way it sounds. Again, it looks great. But here's the thing with some J Tercer guitars, and I am a big fan. It has a thick neck, and it looks good, it sounds good, but when I actually play it, it's kind of rough on the fingers. That's why I only use this guitar sparingly when I do studio work. This is not a guitar that I would take out on the road with me gigging, because my hands would be cramping up within 15 minutes of playing it. So I thought that would be important to convey that it looks good, sounds good, but the neck's kind of thick. Depending on the songs you're playing, it's kind of rough getting through them. I could not play Ribbon in the Sky on this song because it would just tear up my fingers. I mean, all that bar chord and just really rough. But that's why this was just in my setup. Now, here is a guitar that I would definitely take on the road with me or go to gigs with, because I could play this guitar literally for hours without any cramping up, because it has a very nice small neck. To me, it's about almost as small as a Telly neck, but not quite, but not large like a Stratocaster neck. And here's the interesting story about this guitar. It is a Horner, which is the brand guitar that Prince plays, Merlin model SL 3009. And here's the interesting story about this guitar. My nephew kept bugging me about, well, when he comes over, he wants to play my guitars. I was like, out of the question, I'll get you your own. So I went on eBay and found this one for about 40 bucks. I had no big expectations when it came, because I was going to give it to him. And you know, you really don't want to give an expensive guitar to a beginner because most of them don't continue, just put it in the closet after 2 weeks of playing it. So when it came, I was so impressed with it. I said, you know what, this is a good guitar. And I'm going to keep this one for myself because wouldn't get any just do out of it, giving it to a teenager who probably wasn't going to want to play it for 2 weeks. So I actually got him another guitar that was actually pretty good too. But when I got this guitar, like I said, I only paid about $40 for it. And the lady that I bought it from, she said, I tried to play guitar for a couple of months, got tired, put it up under my bed. And this guitar is a really nice guitar. This is probably like a 80s model. I love the neck. I love the wood. When it first came, she had some really nice strings on it. The action was really done well because she said she took it to a guitar shop. They put the strings on and they did the adjustments on the action. And it was just beautiful. This guitar came ready to play. So I did change the strings eventually, and it still feels the same, and it sounds really good. It sounds like a Stratocaster, and this is definitely a guitar that I would definitely take out on the road or just do some gigging with, because again, I can literally play this guitar for hours. So that's why this was in my setup. And a heck of a deal, $50. Okay, here's my other J Tercer guitar. Now this one feels and sounds like a Strat. And again, I love J Tercer guitars, and this neck is tolerable as opposed to my custom Tele. It's a little bit smaller, and I can really take this one out and gig and play because I like bright sounding guitars. My ear has just become adjusted to the Tele sound, the Stratocaster sound, that snappy, punchy sound. So, you know, the majority of guitars that I have, you know, have that sound as far as that brightness. What I love about J Tercer guitars is they make them where it looks like they're very expensive Fender guitars because most guitar makers do not carry this type of color. You know, normally when Fender has this type of color, you're paying a couple extra $100 just for the paint job. Because like the Lake Plastic Blue guitars from Fender, those guitars are like additional $300-400 just because of the paint. So I like the fact that J Tercer give you these unique colors for less than $200, you know. So, and only this I paid only $60 for this. When it came, it was dismantled, the neck was off, and that was for shipping reasons. But I put the neck on, strings on, adjusted the action, and it plays good. Now, I made the mistake of almost selling. Well, actually, I did sell this guitar last year because I was trying to get my drums. And then I realized the mistake that I made. So I gave the guy that bought the guitar offer that he couldn't refuse. I had a Stratocaster. I said, I will give you my Stratocaster if you just bring me back my J Tercer. He's like, okay, I'll bring you back there tomorrow. So, you know, he was happy, I was happy, and I won't make that mistake of getting rid of this because it's a pretty good guitar. This is one of my workhorses. Okay, the last one on the list is my Gibson Les Paul. Now, what I can say about Gibson is because I haven't really played Gibsons in a long time. I've played them throughout the years, but haven't really played them that often. And what I noticed about the old models, and this is like maybe a 70, 75, 76, and they're always heavy. They're really heavy because the old ones are made out of solid wood. The new ones are made out of hollow wood, and the wood is not as thick as the old ones. So the interesting story about this guitar is, I make a long story short, because I told you, I'm not one of those guys that's going to spend $1,000 on a guitar. It's just not going to happen. This guitar, I guess the moral of the story is when you're good to people, people return the kindness. Again, I try to make a long story short. When I was a young guy, I used to deliver papers, and I was always extremely customer service oriented to my older customers, the people that were up in age. So it was a guy that I used to deliver his papers on a daily basis. Really nice guy. And when he passed away, he gave me this guitar. And they had been trying to find me for a couple of years, and they seen me on the talk show called The Studio. And his widow said that it's something that Jonathan left for you. So I went by there, and she said, this is a guitar, it's prized possession. He said that you were always kind to him, and you know. So it was, you know, his way of giving back, saying thanks. I was quite humble. I didn't really even want to take it, but she said, you know, I have no use for it, so you might as well put some use to it. So, you know, I took it, and I was quite humble, and I was quite appreciative. But what's interesting about the Gibson guitars, because I haven't played them in a while, but since I've been playing it for like the last couple of weeks, I can give you an analysis, and they're great for rock. I forgot the fact that when you play rock on these, the distortion is just really nice. It rings out longer because I did a cover of a Kiss song. I think it was Detroit Rock City. And before I got this guitar, I was about to play that cover on this guitar. And the problem I had with that was when I would strike the power chord, it wouldn't ring out long enough until the next hit of the power chord on the next power chord. So I would almost literally have to hit it twice, which is not what the song called for, just one strong one. So when I got this, plugged in distortion, boom, and the distortion ring out long enough for me to, not have to hit it again before the next chord comes in. So that's why I think a lot of guys like Gibsons, because the distortion and the rock thing is just, it's definitely happening on this guitar. Now this is not the type of guitar that I would probably take out to gig because again, the action on it is pretty decent, and I can probably get it down a little lower. But I just don't see these as R&B funk song guitars. Because to me, and this is just my personal opinion, Gibsons have a tendency to sound kind of flat. And that's because I'm accustomed to all that brightness of the Tele and the Stratocaster. So, I just can't really see myself, doing funk, on this guitar, no distortion, just some reverb or echo or whatever. But to each his own. I would definitely do this, use this for rock purposes, kind of edgy stuff, but not, just straight out funk stuff. But again, that's just my opinion. But that's the reason why I have, various guitars, because they deliver various things. If you are just a guy that just want to play off and on, maybe one guitar would suit you. But if you're doing, again, studio work, touring, gigging, depending on the type of music that you're playing, it depends on the type of guitar you want. So I do believe it's good to perhaps have maybe two guitars, if not anything else. But that is my spill on why it's important to have perhaps more than one guitar or different guitars. So until next time, I hope this has been informative and entertaining. Take care. Thanks for watching.